Okay, little quick how-to video for you. I'm actually replacing a hose that runs under the intake, the redneck style, but say you need to replace your alternator. I'm going to show you the steps that you need to do to take the alternator off, because it actually has to come out of the way. And well, anyway, I'm going to get to it and get showing you. Right here you see I've got a pipe in here. You don't have to have that. I have a 1/2-inch drive ratchet. It goes into the bottom of the belt tensioner. Directly under that shiny pulley right there, you will find the belt tensioner. If you can see it right there, the head of the ratchet's actually in it. You're wanting to move that toward the fender well. So what you're actually going to do, if I can get the camera to where you can see, is I'm going to put pressure on this and you can watch it move. Well, anyway, that's what you got to do to get the belt off. You pull the tension back and you reach up, see it's loose there on the alternator, and you flip it off the alternator. Once it's flipped off the alternator, you're in good shape. Your root belting, your belt diagram is always under the hood, like right there is that one, so don't be concerned. Well, that's step one, which I can't do with one hand. And this ain't a tripod job either. You really can't get it to where you can see. You have 2 bolts in the bottom of this alternator. There's one here, there's one on the other side in the exact same place. It holds the alternator on, other than some wires on the back, of course. This bracket right here, I minded you to tell you, that's a 1/2-inch drive ratchet you use to remove the tensioner, and that's a 10mm bolt that holds the alternator on. These are 8s right here on this top bracket. You may find it easier to remove this bracket on this early car. It holds the plug wires, but it's kind of in the way to get the alternator off unless you want to fight with this. So remove those 8mm bolts right there, and you can kind of massage the whole mess out of the way. But I'll take a few more things off and show you some more. Okay, I've got the belt off. As you can see, it's just laying down here on top of the water pump. I've got, I took this bracket off the top. Right here's this bracket that I'm bolted to 8mm bolts. Those pop open with a screwdriver. Took the plug wires out of that. That gives you more access. I myself usually, as a rule, would not have done this. Took this bracket off, but it'll make your life easier. I know how to wiggle it out of there. Next step you're going to do is take these bolts right here. Like I said, there's one on each side. The mounting base of the alternator is like this, like for 2 fingers. You get one here and one here, so you can't really see the other one. I don't know if I can get you a view of it. Yeah, you can see it. But anyway, you got to take those 2 bolts out and then pull the alternator up, and I'll show you how to disconnect the wires. I'm not going to disconnect them, I don't think, but because I'm not actually doing an alternator swap, but I got to remove it, so I'll show you how they come off anyhow. Okay, you get the alternator, get the 2 bolts out of the alternator, which go right here. And on these cars, these have notorious problems, charging and battery discharge problems. You can see right here where this mop mounts. You need to clean that up real good. Shiny metal. You need to put a film of grease, like axle grease, on this. You also need to clean up these ears and do the same. A little sandpaper, wire brush, something of that nature, and just put a little skim of grease. They have a bad habit of having grounding problems there. They're just notorious for it. And you start getting grounding problems on these cars and kiss the heater core goodbye. Yeah, it'll ground through the coolant and it will do electrolysis on the heater core. It'll kill it. Another thing is, put a little grease on these bolts when you put them back in and under the heads and everything. That's a major problem on these cars. But anyway, to unhook this alternator, if you were, say, going to unhook it, you can actually take this diverter stud off. You can pop this cap off, and there's another nut under here, but you actually wouldn't do that. If you was replacing it, most likely it should come with this. If it doesn't, you pop this cap off and there's another nut under there, but you take this one nut loose, that's your hot wire. Make sure your battery is disconnected, or in this case removed. I wanted it out of my way. And this connector here, to unplug, you just put a little screwdriver in there, push down, and pop it out like that. Of course, this one wasn't even latched, but I guess now we know. It's not my vehicle, it's a friend of mine's, and yeah, that, I don't know if you can see, but I can pull it right off. This is actually sprung right here. This is sprung, so I'll put a little heat to it and bend it a little. I don't suggest you do it, but anyway, that's how you get the alternator off to replace the alternator, and it appears this is an original alternator for this car. Yep, kind of interesting.